Okay, I guess I'll ask. How was your first winter in Connecticut?
Confusing.
Oh no.
I have no idea how to dress up for the winter.
Oh no.
No.
Welcome to Revelations, the place where we speak truth to power. I'm Cole Johnson, and I'm so glad you're able to join us. Saraup. That is how you spell my next guest's name, but she goes by another one. She grew up in Cambodia and left home to attend college only to experience something extremely horrible. Her journey took her away from genocidal terror, and she became a refugee escaping to the United States. Now, she encourages people to be whole in body, mind, and spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, public speaker, the author of How I Survived the Killing Fields, and also a videocast co-host, Sara Im. And this is her revelation. Well, welcome to Revelation, Sara. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Cole.
Oh, no problem. No problem. It is my pleasure to have you on this platform. Your story definitely has touched me, and I think it will touch many in my audience because we need more people like you. And this first segment that we're going to go into, well, you basically live this way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, with you and to the audience, we're going to open the way. Now, in Open the Way, conversations start when vulnerability enters the room. And for you, you are a Cambodian native. And of course, we'll talk about what happened while you were there. But how was your childhood?
My childhood was beautiful.
Mm,
I remember vividly living in a small village in the countryside with my parents, who are farmers. And our home is located surrounded by nature and very close to the river, the flowing freshwater river. So that's my childhood looked like.
nice. Okay. All right. So let me see if I can climb into your home. Uh, you said that it was beautiful, and you said it was a wonderful experience. What did your parents instill in you when you were young?
They instill in me that I need to have higher education,
Okay.
and they don't want they don't want me to become a farmer. They
Mm,
realize that farming is a hard work, and they love me so much that they don't want me to work as hard as them. And
hmm.
I was the firstborn child, and,
Right.
and I was loved, and I feel secure.
Nice. 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 Yeah, and I remember hearing in doing my research that you were the oldest child in your family. Well, if you don't mind me asking, how many siblings do you have, or did you have?
As a young girl, I had one brother, and then when I was become a teenager, my mom had two more
Okay.
boys. So altogether, I had three younger brothers.
Oh, okay. So three younger brothers. All right. So, what responsibility did you have as being the oldest sibling and being basically an older sister to three boys?
Well, I have take care of my brothers,
Hmm.
and as the oldest daughter, I become a caregiver to my mom when she became paralyzed. At one point, she had an accident and she became completely paralyzed and lifeless and lay flat on her back for 4 long years.
Wow.
And I I took care of my mom with my loving heart. I love my mom so much. I will do anything to get her health back. So that means I did not grumble. I did not express my resentful or anything like that. I'm just cheerful and I took care of her and my little baby brother at the time that my mom becomes sick. So we built such a strong bond as a
Mhm.
family.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me. I think that was the strongest contribution
Mhm.
to the resiliency that I have, to tell
Hmm.
you the truth.
Wow. And yes, we will definitely get to more of your story where you have definitely forged even further and strengthened even more that resiliency that you now currently can recall as early as then, as as when you were in the house of your parents. If you have to think of three happy moments while you were uh, living with your parents, which three would those moments be?
Three,
Hmm.
the moment when we are together,
Hmm.
my mom expressed her love for me, and she would share her secret to me. What whatever her feeling is, she shared to me, and she
Yeah.
told me that she loved me, and she wouldn't do
Nice.
anything to hurt me. Even at some point, this is my family secret, but I'm telling you this.
Hmm.
My mom was so angry at my dad. She wanted to walk away, but because of her love for me, she fearful that we would be separated. If she's separate from my dad, we would not be able to be together.
Hmm.
So so I'm just appreciate my mom so much to open her heart to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so touching. Wow. That is really so touching. Um, you
And
have
the
any? Go ahead.
and the second moment is that I did very well in school
Mm.
because my parents encouraged me to keep staying in school, and they did not drag me to work in the farm with them. They want me just to stay home, just sit at my little desk, and if I run out of homework to do, I do the drawing. I love drawing pictures. So I enjoy
Oh.
my quiet time doing something about my school, my work, my drawing.
Hmm.
So I love my life.
Wow. Yeah. Let's see that I did not know. An artist as well. You have so many gifts and talents. Wow. Okay. All right. What good memory of your father do you have?
Memory about my father. My
Hmm.
father loved me.
Yeah.
You know, I witnessed him get angry at my brother, and sometimes he beat my brother because
Hmm.
it's a form of discipline.
Right.
But he never beat me.
Mm-hmm.
So I I translate that. I said my dad loved me so much, even though he sometimes sometimes he was not that happy, but he didn't beat me.
Oh my. You know what's funny about that? So my wife told me she has a younger brother herself. And when I first got married to her, she said to me, you know, my father would whip my brother, but he never spanked me once. So you,
So
this is
you know what I mean.
yes. So this is not the first time I've heard that story of a father's love with her daughter being translated to, but he never spanked me like he did my brother. So, so that is awesome. More with Sara Im right after this. There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. Four men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Dog, and H-Rap B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker. Author, public speaker, and I guess you could say an inspiration to us all, Sara Im, joining us here on Revelations. She just opened the way. Wonderful personality that she is. And now it is time for us to take that walk across the bridge to prosperity. Now, Bridge to Prosperity, you link childhood lessons to adult application. Your parents instilled in you this need of education. And so, of course, you were geared up to go to college. So where were you going to go to college?
I went to Phnom Penh, which is the capital city of Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
Phnom Penh is about 300 miles away from my hometown. So that means I left my family behind.
Right.
And I attend engineering school because
Wow.
I was good at math.
Oh my
In
gosh.
high school, in our country, we had to choose the major. We had three major in high school.
Oh, just
Uh,
three. Okay.
yeah, the last year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Literature,
Mm-hmm.
science, or math. So I choose math. Believe it or not, I'm the only girl in the class. So with math, what can I do in college? There's very few options. One of them is to go on to teach, and the other option may be economic school, and then the other option is engineering. So I chose engineering.
Hmm.
So I
Wow.
I was not that passionate about engineering, but it's not many options available at that time.
And to me, I'm hearing engineering, and yeah, of course, you obviously you're a very intelligent person, but just judging by the work I've seen, I'm thinking she didn't go to literature. Wow. Okay. Well, that's an extra question I will ask later. Okay. All right. All right. So you went to college. Did you finish college there?
No, no, I
Yeah.
did not have a chance because the country was collapsed.
Yeah. So I thought. So see if I can think about the time where this happened. So this would be what, the mid 70s or so.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I know there was a lot of upheaval, definitely with us here in the states because they were in Vietnam at the time. And of course, many in Southeast Asia was starting to become more communist in philosophy and in politics.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's also what happened with you.
Yeah.
And how did the interruption of you and your college career came with the sweeping of communist rule in your area?
Oh, it's so abrupt. It's so damaging. Um,
Hmm.
when they took over a country, they they marched in the military style with the military truck and tank
Yeah.
and the automatic weapon and all the soldiers marching with the
Wow.
big guns on their shoulders.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
I bet.
Yeah, and everything was shut down. No, no marketplace, no office building open, no communication line, no restaurant of anything. There's nothing was open at that time, including the school. So
Oh, wow. So they shut everything down. Wow. Okay.
imagine if you keep all your money in the bank, you cannot even go get your money.
Right.
But even though you withdraw your money,
Mhm.
you cannot buy anything. There's nothing for sale. There's nobody sell anything.
Wow. Wow.
That's
Mm.
how drastic that look like.
Oh my gosh. Man. All right. So we talked about when your country got overtaken. Uh, what uh, what did they have the citizens in Cambodia do when that actually happened?
First of all, they evacuate us. They evacuate everybody from the city. Imagine there are hundreds and thousands of people live in the capital city, and they went door to door just demanding everybody need to get out. They point the gun at us. Get out right now.
Mm.
So you have no chance to gather anything. So uh, we just have a few clothes in a little bag, whatever we can carry, and a little bit of food that we have cooked the night before, and that's all we have. If we run out of that food, you just be hungry. There's no place to buy.
Oh my gosh. Mm.
Yeah, that's how drastic that was.
Wow. And the change was that sudden.
It is. It is sudden. It just
Wow.
night and day.
Mm. Wow. All right. So if I were to say the name Khmer Rouge, what comes to your soul?
Khmer Rouge,
Hmm.
the madness,
Yeah.
madness,
Yeah.
unhuman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, from what I understand, Uh, that was the regime that basically ruled over all of you, and
Yes.
they created, well, I guess you could say, for lack of better terms, concentration camp settings. So, what was a normal day like in that type of setting for you?
Yeah, after we were evacuated, we
Hmm.
was all scattered all over the village, the
Hmm.
countryside, and in the jungle. So I end up in the big camp,
Hmm.
the fourth labor camp, where they push us to work extremely hard.
Right.
Yeah, we work in the sun, in the heat all day long, like about 16 hours a day, and no time to rest. We work 7 days a week, and we have very little time to sleep and very little food to eat. Imagine that, exhausted, hungry, sleepy, and then eventually we most of us are sick.
Right.
Yeah, our system, our body break down because uh, we were just was abused big time.
Mm, I can imagine. Wow.
Yeah.
So did you fall ill? I would assume you did, but I don't want to truly assume. Did you fall ill?
Yes, yes.
You did.
I
Yeah.
contracted a few disease, pretty bad disease like
Hmm.
malaria, typhoid, and a few other. So yeah, very
Hmm.
serious.
So how was hospital care during that time when you actually did contract these diseases?
The hospital, there
Hmm.
is just a name, but there is no treatment.
Oh man.
There is a better hospital somewhere far away. That's
Hmm.
for the people, for their own people.
For their own people. Ugh.
Yeah. For us, we just go to the name only hospital without treatment. Mm.
So that sounds like a hospice where
Hmm.
they just house you in a place, and if you die, so be it.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
it's the place for us waiting for our time.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So in this hopeless situation, because that is extremely hopeless, and balancing that with the hope that you received when you were growing up, what hope did you grab onto during such a terror-ridden time?
I was still hopeful. I was just imagine one of these days I will be able to be reunited with my family. It was naive on my part, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to keep that thought. I had to keep that imagination. Otherwise, I would give up and I would never have a chance to survive. Many of my friends that are in the same boat as I did, many of them did not make it. I am just so helpless to see my friend die off every day, and I couldn't do anything to help them.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow. So horrible. Wow. Mm. You just don't think that humanity could be that cruel. You wouldn't think they would be that evil, but unfortunately, you got a chance to see that up close and personal.
Yes, yes, people can be cruel, people can be heartless,
Yeah.
can turn away from suffering,
Hmm.
and it's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah, it is. Sara Im. This is Revelations. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be heard.
Nicole.
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 Network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready.
The Lunch Break with AJ, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at noon Central. Author, published speaker, motivational tool in person, and a co-host of a video show. Sara Im joins me here on Revelations. She opened the way. She walked across that bridge. Now it is time to get behind the purpose. Now, behind the purpose, this is the reason why we function the way we do. And throughout all of this, throughout all of what you just described to me, the fact you were in a forced labor camp and you work 16-hour days, 7 days a week, and then you contracted the disease, or the diseases, I should say, to where you were put in basically hospice care. I believe I saw that you had a discovery with Jesus. So how did you discover him in the midst of such torture, such terror, and such evil?
How I discover is my purpose. My purpose is my family. My goal is to survive so that I can go back to my hometown to find my family, to help out. So that's my purpose. Now that I got trapped in this situation and I'm barely survive, I barely can walk, and I barely catch my next breath, I realized I need help. I cannot help myself. At that time, I was thinking about how can I get out of this terrible situation. So I searched what I can, and I remember when I was young, I listened to my mom reading a story. And in that story, it tells me that there is God. There is God that saw everything, and he had compassion. He sent his angel to rescue the small children and the woman from the bad person. So from this story alone, I draw my conclusion that there is God.
Right.
Since my young age, I carry that belief with me. Um, so now that I am about to lose my life,
Right.
I thought about that God. I said, wow, maybe he can help me. So I start to pray. I could not do anything else. I could not run away. I cannot go back to the work camp, and I could not get help with my situation. So I start to pray and I ask God, God, please help me. All I want is to survive.
Mm.
I just want to survive long enough so that when everything changes, I can go back and find my family. So I have hope in my vision that things will change. I have no idea how, but
Mm.
I believe that things will change. So I pray and ask God to help me night after night. And then one morning I woke up very early before everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, oh, I can walk out from here. I can walk out. So I sneak out. So nobody pay attention to the sick people.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody caught me.
Wow. Okay, so you got a chance to work at the kitchen. You rebuilt your health. You got the chance to be more nourished. You got more rest, and then, of course, the regime saw that you were able-bodied, and they were like, "Ah, you're able-bodied. All right, back to the field you go." All right. So,
Yeah.
when did you break free from the forced labor camp altogether?
Toward the toward the end of 4 years.
How?
Almost 4 years in the camp.
How?
And they start to move the camp. Where do they move to? They move us closer to the jungle. We keep getting into the jungle
Mm-hmm.
a little bit at a time. So when I realized we are going to the jungle, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it. I said, this is it. This is it. No more.
Mm.
I uh, I feel like God gave me a courage that
Yeah.
time. He
Yeah.
gave me a courage to think about escaping. Escaping.
Mm-hmm.
I have been dreaming to escape
Right.
for all the 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Always look for my way out, always thinking about escaping, but I was not able to do it. But
Right.
this time it's enough. I have enough. I need to take it. I need to take action. Um so I decided to gather three close friends.
Mm.
They are close friends to me. They always support me when I was so sick and all that. So I asked them, say, I'm thinking about running away. Would you like to come with me? You know what? All my three friends say yes. I just, I was so happy because I couldn't do it all by myself. I was, I was frail. I went back to being so frail again. So with three of my friends, I got stronger. I feel more courage, more courageous. So we map out a plan to escape. So from the jungle, it's very, very challenging because first of all, there is no GPS in the jungle.
No, it's not.
And especially in the 70s, there is no such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And and there is no electricity. There is
Right.
no light.
Right.
When it's dark, it's dark. It's
Mm-hmm.
black,
It's pitch black. Right.
pitch
Mm-hmm.
black. So we can get lost in the jungle and go around and around and around, never get out of the jungle. But
Mm.
but God was directing us step.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
have to tell you,
I'm
God
sure.
direct us step. Mhm.
Nice. Oh, it definitely to God be the glory on that. Man. Okay,
Yeah.
so How did you I should say how did you travel from Cambodia and relocate to the United States?
Well, after I get out from captivity, for a long journey, I found my family, and then they helped me to recover my health. After
Nice.
I was healthy again and so on, um, we are still in fearful situation.
Of course.
Our country is chaotic.
Right.
It's total destruction,
Mm-hmm.
and we have no hope, and we are just cannot trust anybody else. So my mom had an idea. She said that I, the oldest child, the
Mm-hmm.
favorite one,
Mm-hmm.
the only qualified at that time. She pulls me out. She say, "Oh," and I was crying. Like my eyes was falling.
Right.
For 4 years I was dreaming about reuniting, about this moment we had together. But
Mm-hmm.
now I have to leave everybody. So I was
Right.
not happy. I was now anxious about leaving my family behind. But with my mom's vision, I did it. Um,
Mm.
there is no airplane ticket. There is no passport or anything like that. We
Mm.
had to cross the border, the dangerous border
Right.
that are filled with landmines.
Mm.
But but I made it. That's why I'm here, right?
Yes, yeah. You're
I
here.
couldn't step on that landmine.
Yeah.
So
You found your way past them. Yeah. And you dodged all of them. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. So you get to the US. Unfortunately, you get there without your family in tow. Where did you settle in the US?
Connecticut.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Can you imagine coming from a tropical country and landed in Connecticut
right.
just before winter? Before
Oh,
winter.
not only did you land in an area I did not expect, but you did so at a time where that would be such a culture and physical shock to you. Oh my gosh.
God
Okay.
have a sense of humor.
Yes, yes, he does. Okay, I guess I'll ask. How was your first winter in Connecticut?
Confusing.
Oh no.
I have no idea how to dress up for the winter.
Oh no.
No, I came with a flip flop.
Oh no. Oh no. And if oh yes, and there's certain days there, if the temperature gets to 30 degrees at in the daytime, you're lucky. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was expecting you to say Florida or California or heck, even Arizona. I was not expecting
No,
Connecticut. Oh my
no.
gosh.
God have a better plan for me.
Yeah, he definitely must have had a better plan for you. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, all right. Why did you land in Connecticut?
Because my only relative that sponsored me to come, he was in Connecticut.
Okay. All right. So it was
But
family. Okay.
but here's another kicker.
Oh no.
My relative need to move out from Connecticut before I arrive. Imagine that.
No. Oh no.
Yes, yes. When I arrived to JFK Airport
Hmm.
in New York,
Right.
I was waiting. I was waiting for my uncle to come to pick me up.
Right.
He was not there. He moved out of Connecticut,
Oh
and
my
we
gosh.
didn't have the cell phone or anything to communicate. So, uh, but anyway, God had another plan for me. So I have a group of people in the church
Hmm.
who dedicated to provide some service to the new arrival, the refugee people. So that's why I got involved in the care of the Christian people.
Right. Right. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. God may have a sense of humor, but Lord, the purpose is so great. Oh man.
Yes.
More with Sara Im on the other side.
Of course, Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez. And it's caught! Debo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense it.
The Fro just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and the Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. You want to watch these interviews commercial free? Well, now you can. Revelations is on Patreon. Become a patron today. Author, public speaker, videocast co-host Sara Im joins me on Revelations. She's opened the way. She's walked across that bridge with me. She's giving you the reason why she is who she is. And now it is time to bring all of that to light. Now, all of us shine in a unique way, and obviously throughout this episode, you see how unique Sara shines. And so you compiled all of this information, all of your experience, and all of your travails into this book where I remember a movie where it was titled similarly. And the movie was the 1984 film, The Killing Fields. You titled yours, How I Survived the Killing Field. So how did the book come to existence?
The book come to existence. There's a few reasons. Throughout a few decades, some of my close friends asked me about my story. So I told them one by one. And they always encourage me to write, to put it in the book. But I always dismissed the idea until one year I was invited to speak at a women group. And I found out that one of the women in that group, she lost her child to suicidal. And that shocked me. To my naivety, I did not believe what I heard. I said, wow, people live in this prosperous country still are not happy and still take their own life. What if they heard about my story? What if they learn about my trauma? They might change their mind. So that's what turned the switch on. I say I might be able to use my story to help the next people. So that's another reason why I wrote my book.
And I am so glad you did. Oh, wow. You not only are an author and not only are you a public speaker, you also host a video cast, and it's called From Surviving to Thriving. And you do so with fellow genocide survivor, I should say, and thriver, really, Leah Tran. So how did you two meet? How was this creation born? And do you get fed the wonderful message that you two send to others when you see the results of seeing your message reach people?
Yes, how this show come about is first one of my friends introduced me to Lee um, through a National Association of Speakers National Association, and they met, and my friend thought that I need to connect with Lee because Lee is from Vietnam and I'm from Cambodia.
Right.
We have similar journey. So, and then we correspond on email a few times, and then finally we got to meet in February on Valentine's Day 2020. That's 1 month before the pandemic.
Wow.
We met in person once, and we just connect. We just love. We just appreciate each other, and we part our way. I said, Lee, whatever you need to help to do, I can help you. So that's what I left with her. And then the pandemic come, and she's a type A person. she, she she's really nervous about this. Oh, what can I do? And she called me. She says, Sarah, we need to do something. And I have an idea. Why don't we do a live Facebook live show, something to encourage people? Because we have been in the panic situation, stressful and fearful time in our life, but we got over it. So we want to inspire people not to worry too much, because we want to calm the people down. So that's our original purpose.
Wow, that is nice.
So we get together every day, every weekday, Monday through Friday, for 30 minutes from 5 to 5:30 every day. We get together on Zoom, and we record it and then post it, and then later on we get fancy, we do live. So we talk about everything. We talk about contentment, we talk about resentment, we talk about appreciation, about gratitude, about everything that we can think of. And then about 5 months later, we decided to invite some guests, because a lot of people have their thriving story as well. So we want to hear from other people.
Right.
And we want those people that overcome life and to share their journey with the audience. So that's why we are keep doing this. So since March 2020 until now, we are still doing it.
That is impressive. Wow. And I'm glad you both are. I'm glad you both are. And I'm glad you draw inspiration from each other, and you seemingly draw inspiration from others who tell you stories of how they overcome as well. That's the beauty, especially in the Christian life. That's the beauty of it all. All right. So when you are in front of a crowd and you speak, and you tell your wonderful story, because it is wonderful in so many different facets and ways, what is the one thing you want people to take away from knowing in their hearts when they hear you tell your story?
It different depending on the group.
Okay.
Some group need hope. Some group need to build their resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need to reconcile with their family. So there's so many core value that I share with them. But the the, the common thread of all is living on purpose with love. When you have love, your purpose is going to be good because you are doing it with love in your heart. You cannot go wrong. When the people came to take over Cambodia, because they did not have love in their heart, they have hate and resentment. That's why it caused so much destruction. But when we do something with love in our heart, we cause a lot of good in the world. So whatever we do it with our love.
Author, public speaker, co-host of a video cast, Sara Im joins me on Revelations. And now it is time that we call Plug Tunin in honor of hip-hop group De La Soul. This is when the guest gets the chance to promote any and everything on his, or in Sarah's case, her heart's desire. So with that being said, Sara, whatever is on your heart, the floor is yours.
No, thank you, Cole. I just want everybody to get a hold of my book, How I Survived the Killing Fields. And I'll show you how it looked like. There's a few books that have similar title, but this is my book, How I Survived the Killing Fields. You can find it on my website only, saraim.com. SARAIM.com. And I also do speaking. So when you have a gathering of any kind and you would like somebody to inspire your audience, reach out to me. So if it is too far for me to travel to, I can always do it online, on video like this. Don't be afraid to reach out. And I also now decided to add another component of my service is to provide coaching. If you struggle with your past, with your self-esteem, if you have been abused, you have been hurt, and you want to recover, but you just run out of option and you don't know how, I might be able to help you, to give you some suggestion through my coaching, through using my experience. I'm not I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a counselor, but I can be your mentor. So reach out to me. You can visit my website, saraim.com. Um, if you have a story, a wonderful um, surviving story or overcoming story, and you want to share on my platform, reach out to me as well. We can share your story and bright up the world. So I just hope that you will connect with me. You can always go to my website. There's a tab, it's called Discovery. Just click on Discovery on my website. You will reach me and schedule 30-minute consultation with me, free consultation, so that we can discover whether I can support, how I can support you. I will support you, but how? So reach out. I appreciate you and thank you for watching. I hope that you follow me on social media. I'm pretty active on Facebook and LinkedIn. So those are the two platforms that I'm more active. But I hope our paths will cross and I can help you. Thank you.
Wow. Wonderful inspiration right there. Author, public speaker, co-host of a video cast, a life coach, and just an all-around wonderful human being with a great story. But she's a better human being. Sara Im, joining me on Revelations. Thank you so much for this time, Sara. I totally appreciate it and you.
Thank you so much, Cole. Your show is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You create this wonderful show, and I appreciate you having me as your guest. And you know, if you ever want to be on somebody else's show, like my show, just reach out.
Okay. I will take you up on that offer. Thank you, Sara. Wow. The human condition is a powerful one, if you allow it to be. Sure, there is fragility to life no matter how you live it, but the power of perseverance is a motivating factor like none other. This physically diminutive woman suffered abduction, torture, and abuse, only to live a rich life far after that. The Bible says, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us." There is a woman who held on to that promise while being starved, worked inhumanely, and left for dead at a hospice. But that suffering is nothing compared to the rich testimony Sara Im has now. Whoever said that there was a point of no return did not meet this woman, for perseverance certainly finished its work with her. Many thanks to Sara Im for her inspiring story and her perspective on life. And why don't you join us each and every Tuesday where you will see a different person being interviewed by yours truly each week. For changing the world one conversation at a time, I'm Cole Johnson, and this has been Revelations. Thank you for tuning into Revelations. To download this episode, go to Acast and type Revelations. For apparel, go to Spring and type Revelations. Music by Lakey Inspired.